Watch and pray. Jesus told his disciples twice to watch and pray. Both times it was a monumental shift happening in the earth. The first was the eve of his crucifixion. The second was about his second coming. Watch, that word means to have vigilant awareness, like a sentry at night, to be on guard against anything out of the ordinary, enemies advancing, anything that might threaten your watch. Hey online family, this is Judah Jackson, and I'm coming to you from the epicenter of the coronavirus in Washington. I'm on the University of Washington campus, right across from the University of Washington Hospital. It is March 22nd, 2020. I want to share some facts, statistics, and 4 spiritual insights that help you process this pandemic. I specifically chose that word process over navigate because we need something with more weight. Process means to integrate sensory information received so that an action or response is generated. Here, let's start with some facts and a timeline. I'm going to share a timeline of what's been going on in Washington. On January 21st, we learned of the first case of the coronavirus in the state. January 29th, we had the first death at one of the Life Care Centers of America in Kirkland, Washington. At that time, Governor Jay Inslee declared a state of emergency. March 3rd, Mayor Jenny Durkan of Seattle declared a civil emergency. On March 6th, the president of the University of Washington canceled all in-person classes and the class went online. They will continue online when the spring quarter starts, and they estimate up to April 24th or possibly longer. Now, currently, we have 1,793 reported cases of the coronavirus in Washington. Most of those are in King County. We have 94 deaths. Now, here's the definition the university gives of the coronavirus. Is a coronavirus are a large family of viruses. Some cause respiratory illnesses in people, and others circulate with animals. They say it's rare that it would cross from animals to human. And it is related to the SARS and the MERS that we've experienced. Currently, our state is not under lockdown, but Governor Jay Inslee had serious concerns. He resisted. He really doesn't want us to be on lockdown. But anyway, he has serious concerns last week because the numbers have increased significantly. Now, let's look at some spiritual insights to help you process this pandemic. Here are 4 insights. One is you must manage your fear. It's understandable anything that could cause death for you or your children, your loved ones, could harm you. Of course, it's going to alarm you, but you must manage your fear because you won't be able to think clearly. Because remember what happens when you're in fight or flight. You're operating off your brain stem, and you're not using your frontal lobe, so complex, sophisticated thinking, you can't do it. So you're listening to all this information to stay abreast and attuned to what's going on. I understand that, but you need to start replenishing some of that negativity with positive thoughts and healing. And the most positive healing words that I know are the words of God in the Bible. And many people are praying Psalms 91. It talks about how angelic beings are assigned to protect God's children. Psalms 91, and also to look at God as a shepherd who cares and looks after his sheep and tends to them. That's the 23rd Psalm. And this critical thinking is leading to the second point, which is after you get safe, after you start feeling safe, maybe you're even in a shelter in care. I implore you, begin to think critically about what is happening. Because if you start thinking critically, you'll see some things are not adding up. Something is wrong. Something is not obvious. Something's hidden. Proverbs 4:7 says, wisdom is the principal thing, and in all you're getting, get wisdom and get an understanding. Ask yourself, what and why is the coronavirus happening? Is it really just a effect of some bad bat stew in Wuhan, China? Or is it a plague because judgment being passed on sin? Or is it a ploy to usher in the new world order? Begin to ask yourself these questions. And number 3 is pray. Pray corporately with others, because one can put 1,000 to flight and two can put 10,000 to flight. And pray intimately alone with God. And ask the Holy Spirit to guide you through these days ahead. Because John 16:3 says, the Holy Spirit, when she comes, the Spirit of truth, she will guide you into all truth and those things that God is saying. And she shall teach you and show you things to come. The Holy Spirit can show you things that have not happened yet. And finally, 4, anchor yourself spiritually. I think the best way to anchor yourself is to establish a relationship with the living God. Because you're going to need that to be able to stand in these dark days. Because at the end, it's going to end up good, but it's going to get a lot darker. The disciples, when they asked Jesus, when he was talking about the things to come and some devastation and things coming to the earth and the end of this age, and they ask him, how will we know? What are some of the signs? And this is what Jesus replied in Matthew 24:6-8. If you get a chance, read the whole chapter. It says, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of war. Do not be afraid, because all of these things must come to pass. So right now, get that understanding. If you're praying about something and it doesn't change, he's telling you it's going to happen. You're not going to pray this away. He said it must come to pass. So don't be afraid. But nations shall rise up against nations. That's another word for people. And kingdom against kingdom. There shall be famines and pestilence. Pestilence is plagues. And earthquakes in many various places. All of this is the beginning of troubling. So this is a long haul. Things are going to come. We might get waves in between, but it's just we've turned a page here spiritually. Now, Revelations 3:20 said, behold, I stand at the door and knock. If any man hear my voice and open the door, I will come in and sup with him, or like commune with him, and he with me. Because God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whoever believes in him shall not perish, but have everlasting life. Online family, I'm saying watch and pray. This is Judah Jackson signing off from Seattle, Washington, the coronavirus epicenter. I will be coming back giving some updates, and I hope others will follow suit so we can know what's going on in these cities, because the news is not reliable like it used to be. It's not objective. It has a motive, agenda, and propaganda and everything else. But if we at least keep reporting, that'll help us stay in touch and know what's going on. But peace and blessings, fear not. God is with us. Take care, online family.